Are you serious? Are you serious? We have some news coming out of Egypt that is very important as it relates to the entire Middle East. And, of course, the peace covenant, or the covenant with many, that the Bible talks about in Daniel 9:27. I want to thank Penny of Virginia for this report. Egyptian government has resigned, paving a way for the military chief al-Sisi to run for president. Cairo, Egypt is reporting this morning. Egypt's government has resigned. What? The prime minister said today, Monday, February the 23rd, 2014. A step likely to pave, I say the 23rd, this is the 24th, Monday the 24th of February 2014. It was a step likely to pave the way for Army Chief Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to declare his candidacy for the president as a strategic U.S. ally gripped by political strife. Now, the government made every effort to get Egypt out of the narrow tunnel in terms of security, economic pressures, and political confusion. Prime Minister el-Bazawi said in a live nationwide speech, Begley, who has taken by interim President Mansour with running the government's affairs until the election. He did not give a clear reason for this decision. For al-Sisi to run for president, he would first need to quit as defense minister. This government resignation was done as a step that was needed ahead of al-Sisi's announcement that he would run for president, according to an Egyptian official telling Reuters. He said the cabinet resigned en masse as Sisi did not want to appear to be acting alone. So the government is clearing a path so that General al-Sisi can step in and really take over the nation of Egypt. The top military commander has unveiled a political roadmap meant to lead to elections after toppling the Islamic president Mohammed Morsi, the fierce king, the cruel lord, as the Bible refers to him actually in the prophecy of Isaiah chapter 19, verses 1 through 4. He, of course, was once the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood. And back in July the 3rd, 2013, General al-Sisi arrested him and removed him from the presidency after 30 million Egyptians went to the streets saying, "No more mercy, no more mercy." And the reason they did it, folks, remember, is because he was ruling Egypt in his 1 year as El Presidente. He was ruling Egypt with a rod of iron. He was the fierce king and the cruel lord. He had allowed 500 Christian churches to be burnt to the ground. Christians were crucified in the trees outside of his presidential palace. Christians were beheaded. He even showed a video on state-run television of a Christian being beheaded in the nation of Tunisia, only to strike fear. He fired 70 governors and replaced them with 70 governors that believed in Sharia law. He rewrote the Constitution to be implemented that was based on Sharia law. He destroyed the tourism of Egypt and literally brought it to its knees economically. If you read Isaiah chapter 19, the first 4, 5, 6 verses, it's incredible how these exact scriptures came to pass in the Bible as it was prophesied it would in Isaiah 19. Matter of fact, I'm just going to turn there real quick. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it now. Let's read it. Isaiah 19. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Oh, did we see that happen? As there was 8 idols stolen from King Tut's museum the night that the pale horse was seen galloping through the rioting in the streets of Cairo. Amazing footage. There was even an idol god in one of the museums I believe the Netherlands or the UK, I can't remember, the idol actually turned on the shelf. It was the god of death, an Egyptian idol from the days of the pharaohs. Amazing stuff. But listen to this. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. We saw this. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And then he did, and that happened. The 5 generals that were running Egypt for about a year and a half, they was called the governing council. They were destroyed. They were eliminated after Mohammed Mursi became president of the country. And they shall seek to the idols, it says, and the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. We've even got a video. I watched a video of a general. It was actually said he went to his crystal ball to see who would win the election. And he said Mohammed Mursi would lose. But Mursi won. You see, they were seeking their idol gods, trying to find out who was going to be their next leader. And the Bible said, the Egyptians will I turn over, or the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. A fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Well, Mohammed Mursi was just that. He even had 3 cities under martial law at one point. But then it says, the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. Well, we know that Egypt has went through a severe drought, and even the river Nile, it's unbelievable how low the water table is in the land of Egypt. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up, and the reeds and the flags shall wither. Folks, do you realize that right now in Ethiopia, they are building a brand new dam in the Nile River called the Renaissance Dam. It's being built by the Italians. When it is complete, it will turn 80% of the Nile River away from Egypt into Ethiopia, the Sudan, into Kenya, into 5 different African nations. And Egypt will only get a trickle of the Nile River compared to what it's been receiving over the millenniums of time. So we're watching Bible prophecy fulfilling itself right now, and now there's going to be a new leader. His name will be General al-Sisi. Now, I've been saying for months, he will be your next president of Egypt. Will he, and how will he rule? Because he's already struck a deal with the Russians, because he was offended by the Obama administration. Oh, the Americans used to be the allies of Egypt, but Obama was backing Mohammed Mursi. Hillary Clinton had the Muslim Brotherhood, daughter of the Muslim Brotherhood leaders, as her chief of staff, Uma Abedin, who was married to Congressman Weiner of New York. The Clintons are personal friends with Mohammed Mursi and his wife. The Obama administration hired 6 members of the Muslim Brotherhood to work in the White House. Even the director of the CIA is a Muslim. I mean, this whole thing is corrupted. It stunk to high heaven. Let's be honest about it. Let's just somebody be honest about it. I'll be honest about it. We're watching Bible prophecy, a new world order, a one world government, and a one world religion, and soon a one world currency with a one world system called the mark of the beast. These things are coming, and we're watching the peace covenant now being worked on in in Israel. And I'm going to come back with another video on that as it relates to Bible prophecy. But certainly right now, we're seeing changes in the Middle East, as the Americans have insulted the Egyptians, and the Russians have signed a deal with Egypt in which they're going to give Egypt $2 billion worth of military aid and arms, and in return, Russia will build their own naval shipyard, their own port off the coast of Egypt in the Mediterranean for the first time. I'm telling you, the bear of the north is coming. He's also struck a deal with the Palestinians to drill oil off the coast of Gaza. But even though there isn't an agreement yet, the bear of the north is coming to the Middle East, and he's going to be sitting there looking right at Israel. We're going to watch and see Bible prophecy is coming to pass in these last days. Listen, folks, this is the apocalyptic hour. We're on the brink of the beast. We're on the edge of eternity. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Are you saved? Are you saved?